In this video, we will talk about Vesvese, or delusion. Its meaning is whispering, making bad suggestions, saying confusing words, being doubtful and harmful, bad feelings, thoughts, suggestions, whispers, and apprehensions that arise in people. Obsession is used in modern psychiatry in a similar sense to Vesvese, delusion. Is also defined as the thoughts that are involuntary, disturbing, and cannot be removed by conscious effort. In religious terminology, Vesvese, delusion, is the evil or harmful suggestion of the devil to the soul of man. The suggestion from the devil or the nefs that leads people to extreme acts contrary to religion. Vesvese is used in the meaning of the devil and the misleading impulse that the devil whispers to a person, such as useless words, doubt, and hesitation. There are verses about Vesvese in 5 places in the Quran. One of them is the 97 and 98th verses of Surah Al-Mu'minun. And say, "My Lord, I seek refuge in you from the temptations of the devils, and I seek refuge in you, my Lord, that they even come near me." Vesvese of the devil and the desire of the soul are different things. Junaid Baghdadi said that the urges of the soul and the delusions, Vesvese of the devil, are different. When a person wants something, they insist until they get it done or acquire what they want. On the other hand, if the devil cannot make a person do the evil he wants, he starts to cause delusion for another type of evil. Because the purpose of the devil is to make people do evil, no matter what kind it may be. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh narrates, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Allah tolerates, does not take into account, my ummah for what they have in their hearts, or they say it with their tongues, unless they do not put it into action." In the sacred hadith, it also states the following, Allah Almighty says, "If my servant wishes to commit an evil act, do not write it against him immediately. If he does an evil, then write it down as a sin. But if he wishes to do a good deed, but cannot do it, write it down as a reward. If he does that good deed, write it down tenfold." In short, the devil gives Vesvese, delusion, into people's hearts so that they will always do evil. Each time he whispers about different types of evil. If people take refuge in Allah when the devil whispers, delusion, they will be rewarded. A person is rewarded for every evil he has not done. According to Islamic jurisprudence, when a person doubts and worries about doing some practices incompletely during ablution or prayer, it also means Vesvese is expressed. For example, while you are contemplating the verses while you are in prayer, dua, at the Kaaba, in the presence of Allah, bad and ugly thoughts can take you away from your contemplative state. In such cases, do not rush. When bad and ugly thoughts come, do not worry about those thoughts by saying, "Oh, I did a mistake." Those weak thoughts are branching out with your attention to these thoughts. It takes up more space in the mind, because as you get sad and give more importance, your weak thoughts and recollections turn into habits and become an imaginary disease. Don't be afraid though. This state does not cause a disease in your heart. It is a delusion given by the devil to those who are sensitive in their worship. Alright, so why is there Vesvese? Why does Allah allow Satan to give Vesvese? Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh narrates, some of the companions of the Prophet came and said, "Sometimes we think of something which we think is to be a great sin, even to say it out loud." The Prophet commanded, "Do you all feel the same?" They replied, "Yes." Thereupon the Prophet said, "This is the real faith." Vesvese constantly renews one's faith. Vesvese keeps the servant awake. It avoids indifference and insensitivity. O person afflicted with doubt, do you know what Vesvese looks like? It's a type of evil. It grows if you give it importance. If you don't pay attention to it, it goes away. If you see it as something big, it will grow. If you see it as something small, it will shrink. If you are afraid of it, it makes you sick. If you are not afraid, it will be light. It will remain hidden. If you do not know its nature, it continues and settles. If you know its nature and are aware of it, it will go away. Satan first puts doubt into the heart. If the heart does not accept it, it brings bad words and ugly thoughts to our minds. It brings ugly images and nasty things to our imagination. It enforces the heart to say, "Oh no," and makes you hopeless. The delusional man thinks that his heart is being rude to God. He feels intense emotions. To get rid of these feelings, he flees from peace and wants to fall into heedlessness. The medicine for this wound is this. The person who is affected by those delusional feelings, do not worry, because the bad and ugly things that come to your mind are just dreams. Just as thinking of blasphemy and wrong things is not evil, imagining ugly words and bad things are not evil. Because logically, imagination is not a final judgment or something that has been acted upon. However, going through with bad words and ugly behaviors are reality and have been acted upon. Besides, those ugly words are not the words of your heart, because your heart is saddened by those ugly words and ugly thoughts that you have dreamed of. All of this comes from the delusion of the devil, who is close to the heart. The harm of delusion, Vesvese, is to think that it harms the heart and faith. Because a person may think an invalid dream or delusion is reality. This person also credits the devil's work to his own heart. This person may think the devil's word is actually coming from himself. They think they are at a loss and then fall into more loss. After all, that's what the devil wants. If the heart turns to Allah and concentrates on knowing Him and pleasing Allah, angels take the place of Satan. It inspires taqwa to the servant. If the heart falls under the effects of vile impulses and becomes a prisoner of bodily pleasures, the devil finds the opportunity to delve into the soul and commit sin. Thus, the devils who rule hearts load them with the delusions that will make them prefer the world to the hereafter. As a result, a person who follows his own passions becomes a servant of his passions, not of Allah. In short, Satan tries to destroy the faith of believers, to make them forget the purpose of creation, to put doubt in their hearts, to harm people, to make people doubt that they are doing wrong and are deficient or are making mistakes while worshipping. Against the delusion of Satan, we should say, I seek refuge in Allah from the evil of the expelled Satan. Amen.